What a crazy, crazy fight. That is boxing at the highest level. Coming into this match, both guys were at the complete top of their game. This is Undisputed, unifying the division for the first time, the light heavyweight 175-pound division. What a crazy clash of styles it was between these two. We knew that coming in, and oh my God, how that played out in the fight. Artur Beterbiev coming in, 20 fights, 20 KOs, an absolute boogeyman. The way people spoke about his power, not only people that he had fought in the past, but his sparring partners, created this crazy mystique and aura regarding his power coming into the fight. Apparently, his sparring partners are only going 2 rounds at a time with this guy. Otherwise, they're just sustaining too much damage. You hear stuff like that, and you can't help but wonder what it's like to be hit by someone like that. Coming into the matchup, we knew Dmitry Bivol had to be perfect for 12 rounds, had to walk a complete tightrope, and he almost was. He almost had the perfect game plan to hold off Beterbiev for those 12 rounds, but he just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Before we get into the actual matchup, I think one of the huge drawbacks for boxing coming in, watching as an MMA fan, is the timing and the spacing. You had a great co-main event, which, it was a really good knockout in the first round, just set up the main event perfectly. And then it was about an hour until the main event walked. I know they have contractual obligations in regards to time and when these fighters have to walk, but it just stains the event. As a fan, I couldn't imagine being in that building, having to wait another 45 minutes to an hour for those guys to walk. How long have you been there already? 5-6 hours? So, one of those big drawbacks for boxing is the fact that they're getting in the concerts as well. I know that's only happening on like the Riyadh season cards. So it's a bit of a catch-22. We're getting these incredible fights that the fans want to see, but there's just a bit of drovel that we have to sit through in terms of the production side of things. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm there to watch that fight, not anything else. So it was a little bit frustrating in terms of the pacing of it, but let's get into that main event because, oh my God, was it worth it? This is boxing at the highest level. A complete chess match, both guys having complete and utter respect for each other's style. Dmitry Bivol having respect for the power and the prowess of Artur Beterbiev. The first 4 rounds looked quite similar to how I thought and how I predicted that they would look. Dmitry getting off to a really, really nice start, picking his shots well. That guy's jab, let alone just the jab, but his accuracy on all of his punches is something so unique and something so special. It really sets him apart from everyone else. He was giving Artur Beterbiev fits at the start, landing quite clean in multiple spots, getting the jab working really nicely, and was able to land some good combinations as Artur would walk forward. What can you say, though, about the will, the patience, the persistence of Artur Beterbiev? The guy knows and trusts in his power so much that he's able to just walk forward, take what you got to give him. And I don't think his chin gets enough credit because he was taking great shots by Bivol. Bivol's not known to be necessarily a massive power puncher, but he was eating really, really clean shots and he wasn't getting deterred at all. Once the 5th, the 6th, 7th round started to roll around, Beterbiev started to control the ring more. And once he cut him off, Bivol had to do twice as much work just to get away from Beterbiev. And as soon as that was starting to happen, and as soon as Beterbiev was starting to find him with the hands, even if they were just landing on the guard, landing on the body, they weren't necessarily the cleanest shots that were landing. Bivol had to respect those shots enough to really get on the back foot. So how were you scoring those rounds? Because you'd think Bivol was maybe landing more volume, but they're so subjective because Beterbiev has the ring control and is landing good shots himself, which seem to have much more of an impact on Bivol. So although Artur was landing a little bit less, what do you hold in higher regard? The volume, the clean, accurate, beautiful combination punching from Dmitry Bivol, or the more impactful buzzsaw shots that Beterbiev was landing. He was hurting him with the jab, and after getting hurt with the jab, it's crazy that Bivol was able to go back to the game plan, keep sticking it out, and having success in the spots that he was. Like I said, once Beterbiev started to pick up and find his pace, find his ring generalship, the momentum really started to shift into his favor. It was crazy. In the 9th or the 10th round, it looked like Beterbiev was starting to have real success and the landslide was coming. But that's when Bivol picked up the second wind and, kept Beterbiev off with good combination punching when he was tired. Just shows you how well this fight was matched, how closely it was contested all throughout the 12 rounds. Both guys adjusting and readjusting to the adjustments that the other guys were making during the fight. There was a little bit of controversy with the scorecards. Artur Beterbiev takes the majority decision, tied on one card, 114, 112 on another card. I think that's where a lot of the controversy is coming from. It didn't seem like a 4-round fight at the end of it, but like we've talked about, all of the rounds were so subjective to score. If all of the rounds are so tightly contested, it only takes 4 of those to end up going Beterbiev's way to all of a sudden have a pretty wide scorecard. The fight was so closely contested, and I think that's where the controversy was coming from. Going into the decision, when it was getting read, especially hearing that wide of a card, I was expecting Bivol's hand to get raised. I thought he had maybe done enough, won by just the slimmest of margins, 1 or 2 rounds. But like we've talked about, it's so subjective in the judging that you can understand it going either way in this fight. There was no losers. And what a warrior Dmitry Bivol was, and how he lost, how humble that guy is, it just shows you his character. Let's get this fight going again, maybe, potentially. Beterbiev is 40 years old now, and he's just unified the divisions. The first person to ever do that at 175. Does he even need to fight again? He would have made so much money. I can't even imagine how much money he would have made from this fight. So, Bivol, he's younger. This is going to make him so hungry. That guy is going to come back with a fire. Beterbiev coming to the end of his career, he's sort of could ride off into the sunset, Who knows if they're going to do the rematch, because there was no rematch clause. Like we've said, this was a joy to watch. Just an absolute treat. Edge of the seat, all 12 rounds. When you thought one guy was starting to take the lead, it was wrestled back in the other direction. There was no losers in this fight. Although someone has to get their hand raised and has to take home all 4 belts, no one loses any stock in a performance like this. Coming in, it was so 50-50. All of the pros, no one could make a clean prediction, and it showed in the fight. Up until the 12th round, you couldn't split them. I'm not walking away saying, Artur Beterbiev is head and shoulders the better fighter. Likewise with Bivol, both of their styles had success in the ring. Both of them showed a great account of themselves, and they put on a really good fight. Neither guy is the loser. Both guys put it on the line in a spectacular way. It gave the fans an absolute treat. Turki Al-Sheikh, no matter what you think about the production and the show, he's throwing enough money at these guys to make these fights happen, which, as a fan, it's what you want to see. It's what you want to see. Fury Usyk 2, they're going to be throwing heaps of money at them again. Who's going to be performing in there? There's going to be 4 or 5 concerts before the main event in that one as well. On one hand, we get the fight that we've been wanting to see for years as boxing fans. And like I said, we've got to put up with a little bit of nonsense on the production side. But nonetheless, incredible event. These boxers will both go into the Hall of Fame. I think Beterbiev, this caps off a crazy career. And to win a decision against Bivol in a fight where everyone said he has to get the knockout, another feather in that guy's cap. Like we said, Dmitry Bivol, he'll be back. This is going to motivate him, I can only imagine, to a whole nother level. His skill as a boxer is unmatched. Beterbiev, he's just such a unique specimen, and the respect that his presence and power has to garner is something so unique. Hats off to both guys. I loved watching this fight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. I know it was so evenly contested coming in, and I'm sure everyone really enjoyed that fight. If you guys could leave me a like and subscribe, it really helps the channel, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk soon.